Imagine a world where the music never stops, but behind the scenes, a silent machine of wealth is churning out numbers that would leave even the most seasoned investors breathless. We all know BTS as the global titans who conquered the Billboard charts, but have you ever stopped to wonder what happens when the stage lights go down and the designer suits are tucked away? Beyond the record-breaking streams and the sold-out stadium tours lies a complex web of strategic financial brilliance that remains hidden from the public eye. We are talking about secret real estate empires, high-stakes art investments, and silent shares in tech giants that are shaping the future of the digital world. Is it possible that their most valuable assets have nothing to do with their voices, but rather their incredible business intuition? Which member is quietly dominating the luxury property market without ever making a headline? Who among them has turned a simple personal hobby into a multi-million-dollar asset class that appreciates every single second? Today, we are peeling back the curtain on the Purple Empire to reveal a side of Bangtan you've never seen before. This isn't just about fame. It's about a legacy of wealth built on secrets, smart moves, and sheer ambition. From silent partnerships to invisible digital gold mines, these are the moves that separate the idols from the icons. Are you prepared to discover the true scale of their hidden fortunes? Strap in, because we are about to count down the 7 most mysterious and lucrative wealth sources of the BTS members that the world is finally starting to notice. The truth behind the gold might just leave you speechless. Number 7. RM. The silent curator of global blue-chip masterpieces. You may recognize Kim Namjoon or RM as the genius leader with an IQ of 148 who led BTS to conquer the world. But behind the glitzy stage, this man is building an empire that is much quieter, yet far more valuable than mere song royalties. We're talking about the world of high-end fine art. A labyrinth of investments, usually inhabited only by old billionaires and elite global collectors. Have you ever imagined what's inside RM's luxurious apartment at Hannam the Hill or 91 Hannam? There, the walls aren't just decorations, they're assets whose value skyrockets every second. RM doesn't just like art. He has become one of the most influential players in the global art market, creating a phenomenon that critics call the RM effect. Imagine a scenario where a single Instagram post from RM could cause a previously empty gallery to be flooded with thousands of people, and the price of the artist's work to jump to absurd heights. This is not mere speculation, because in 2026, we are seeing the peak of his extraordinary business vision. One of his biggest investments that revealed the secret of his wealth was a transparent glass sculpture by American artist Roni Horn. Do you know how much a single block of simple-looking cylindrical glass costs? RM spent around $1.2 million, or more than 18 billion rupiah, on just that one item. And that's just the beginning. His collection includes legendary names such as Yoon Hyung-kyun, a Korean abstract art master whose works are now sought after by international collectors, thanks to RM's quiet promotion. Art experts predict that the total value of RM's art portfolio has now exceeded tens of millions of dollars, making it one of the most massive invisible assets among BTS members. However, what makes this source of wealth so special is its emotional side and dedication to cultural heritage. RM doesn't just buy to hoard, he is a patron of the arts. He donated hundreds of millions of won to restore Joseon-era wedding dresses located overseas and funded the reprinting of rare art books so that they could be accessed by the general public. Behind his calm exterior, RM is preparing something much bigger. A massive collaborative exhibition, RMX SFMOMA, at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, scheduled to run from October 2026 to early 2027. This is the first time a world-class museum like SF-MoMA has collaborated with a K-pop idol to showcase his personal collection. Imagine how valuable the collection must be if an international institution is willing to dedicate gallery space to it. There, the world will see 200 pieces he has collected over the past decade, pieces he bought when they were still affordable and are now priceless blue-chip assets. This is the smartest form of investment. He invested his money in something he loves, then used his global influence to increase the value of these assets organically through cultural appreciation. Have you ever thought about what would happen if RM decided to open his own private museum someday? How much economic value would be generated from admission tickets, merchandise, and the art tourism he would create? RM's genius in managing wealth does not lie in the luxury he displays, but in how he turns aesthetic taste into a highly stable and continuously growing financial instrument amid global economic uncertainty. He is no longer just a rapper. He is the architect of a wealth legacy that will last far longer than any music career. So, the question is, how many more hidden masterpieces are stored in his private vault that have never been revealed to the public? And can we guess who the next member is who has an equally surprising source of wealth, but in a field very different from the world of art? Number 6. Jin, the worldwide mogul behind the culinary and real estate Iron Curtain. While the world is often distracted by his worldwide handsome charm and his infectious, light-hearted laughter, there is a cold, calculated billionaire mindset hiding behind the eldest member of BTS, Kim Seokjin. We often see him as the resident comedian of the group, but in the high-stakes world of Seoul's elite business circles, Jin is whispered about as a silent shark. His wealth isn't just about the staggering royalties from hits like The Astronaut or the astronomical touring revenue from BTS. It's rooted in a sophisticated, multi-layered empire of tangible assets that most fans never even glimpse. In the year 2026, as the group reaches a new pinnacle of maturity, Jin's financial portfolio has evolved into a masterclass of diversification. The first pillar of his hidden fortune lies in the high-end culinary industry. While many know about Asu Saramushi, the traditional Japanese-style restaurant he opened with his brother, few realize the scale of its expansion. By 2026, this wasn't just a single trendy spot in Songpa. It has become a boutique hospitality group with silent stakes in luxury catering and premium food distribution networks across East Asia. Jin didn't just put his name on a menu, he invested in the supply chain, ensuring that even when he's off the grid, the Jin economy continues to feed the elite. But the real shocker that keeps financial analysts awake is his maneuvers in the ruthless Seoul real estate market. Jin is famously known for purchasing a luxury villa in Hanam the Hill, one of Korea's most expensive residential complexes, entirely in cash. However, the mystery deepens when we look at his buy and hold strategy. In 2026, it's revealed that Jin hasn't just been living in luxury. He's been quietly acquiring under-the-radar commercial properties in the gentrifying districts of Seoul before they hit the mainstream headlines. He possesses an uncanny ability to predict urban development trends, much like a seasoned hedge fund manager. Think about the emotional weight of this. As the oldest member, Jin has always felt a silent responsibility to ensure the group's long-term stability, and he has channeled that protective instinct into building a financial fortress that is virtually impenetrable. His wealth is quiet wealth, the kind that doesn't need to be flashed on Instagram because it's solidified in land, bricks, and mortar. There are even whispers in the 2026 tech investment circles that Jin has been a silent angel investor for several Korean indie gaming startups, combining his lifelong passion for gaming with a sharp eye for the next big digital platform. Every time you think you've figured out his net worth, another layer of his strategic brilliance is uncovered. He isn't just a singer who became rich. He is a visionary who realized early on that fame is fleeting, but land and industry are forever. Imagine the sheer discipline required to maintain this playful persona while managing a portfolio worth tens of millions of dollars in private equity. It makes you look at his dad jokes in a completely different light, doesn't it? Underneath that humor is a man who could likely retire tomorrow and live as a mogul for 10 lifetimes. As we navigate the complexities of his wealth, we see a reflection of a man who values legacy over temporary hype. He has secured his future with the precision of a grandmaster playing a game of chess where everyone else is just playing checkers. But even with Jin's impressive real estate and culinary empire, could there be another member who has bypassed the physical world entirely to dominate a digital and artistic frontier that is even more lucrative? Who is the member that turned a rebellious image into a corporate powerhouse that rivals the biggest names in fashion and tech? The next revelation will challenge everything you think you know about the golden standard of wealth. Number 5. Suga, the mastermind of sound and the hidden tycoon of American sports. If you think Min Yoongi or Suga is just a rapper who spends his time in a dark studio called Genius Lab, then you've only seen the tip of the iceberg of the wealth he has built so neatly and coldly. Behind his sharp gaze, which often appears calm, Suga is the true definition of a silent billionaire who has transcended the music industry to enter a much larger and riskier league of money games. We're not just talking about royalties from the hundreds of songs he's written, but about his strategic move in 2026 that surprised economic analysts on Wall Street and in South Korea. Did you know that Suga has officially become one of the shareholders of the Major League Baseball, MLB team, the Athletics? This is not just fan speculation, but a massive investment through a private equity fund worth $70 million to support the team's relocation to Las Vegas and the construction of a magnificent stadium worth $1.75 billion. Imagine how far-reaching his vision is. An idol from Daegu now holds a piece of American sports history in the world's most glittering city, Las Vegas. This investment places Suga at the same table as global bankers from Bank of America and major Korean conglomerates. Why is this a rarely known source of wealth? Because Suga prefers to operate as a silent partner, letting his money work quietly while the world focuses on his comebacks. However, let's rewind to the most stable root of his wealth, the never-sleeping royalty machine. As a full member of the Korea Music Copyright Association, KOMCA, Suga has more than 160 song credits to his name. Every time a BTS song is played on any street corner in the world, every time Hagium or Dachwita explodes on streaming platforms, his coffers grow without him having to lift a finger. Suga's financial strength lies in his ability to produce hits for other artists like IU, Psy, and Halsey, making him the most sought-after blue-chip producer with fees that can reach astronomical figures for a single track. In 2026, the value of his music portfolio is predicted to have reached a staggering amount, making him one of the richest idol producers in history. However, the emotional side of his wealth lies in the investments he has made for his family. It was recently revealed that an 8-story building in the elite Hanam-dong area, worth 17.3 billion won, is owned by his mother, which houses a luxury restaurant managed by his older brother. Suga has built a very strong family economic ecosystem, ensuring that his wealth is not only enjoyed by himself, but also serves as a foundation for his loved ones. Not stopping there, his humanitarian side is also manifested in the form of a magnificent social investment through the opening of the Min Yoongi Treatment Center in Seoul, a medical facility specializing in children with autism, which he personally funded with 5 billion won. This is proof that Suga's wealth is not just a number in a bank account, but an instrument for creating real change. With a collection of luxury watches like Audemars Piguet, Royal Oak, and Rolex Datejust, whose value continues to rise as investment assets, as well as HYBE shares, worth over 21 billion won, that he keeps tightly without ever selling. Suga has proven himself to be a financial grandmaster. He knows when to be aggressive in the stock market, when to buy property in the exclusive UN village, and when to inject capital into the overseas sports industry. The reflection of Suga's wealth journey is about the resilience of a man who once struggled to buy food after practice, but now has the ability to purchase a part of the future of world sports. His courage to enter the American investment market directly shows that his ambitions are no longer limited to the music stage. He is a blend of a deep artistic soul and a sharp business mind. The question now, after seeing how Suga has dominated the music and sports markets, is who is the next member who has quietly taken over the global fashion industry not just as a brand face, but as a key player with an economic value that defies logic? Who is the legend who turns every step he takes into pure gold in the world of retail and luxury lifestyle? Number 4. J-Hope, the Sunshine King of strategic real estate and high-impact luxury acquisitions. Don't be fooled by his bright smile that always lights up the room or his seemingly effortless dance moves, because Jungkook, or J-Hope, was one of the first to realize that physical investment is the key to maintaining financial success in the future. In 2026, J-Hope is not just a rich idol. He has transformed into a property maestro with a keen instinct for assets whose value not only rises, but skyrockets beyond reason. While many people may only know about his apartment unit in Seoul Forest Trimmage, the truth about his property empire is much deeper and more exclusive. Did you know that in mid-2025, J-Hope made a very smart financial move by selling one of his apartment units in Trimmage and pocketing a net profit of more than 2.7 billion won, or around 31 billion rupiah, from just one transaction? This is clear evidence that he knows exactly when to let go of assets to maximize his liquidity. However, what truly shocked the financial world was his latest purchase at the ultra-luxurious Apareceu complex in Yongsan. Without hesitation, J-Hope bought a penthouse worth 12 billion won in cash. Then, just 1 month later, he bought the unit directly below it, worth 10 billion won, again with cash and without a single penny of bank loans. This means that in a short period of time, he invested nearly 22 billion won, or more than 250 billion rupiah, to create a private residential fortress that is integrated. Imagine the financial depth of someone who can spend 250 billion rupiah in just a matter of weeks on property assets. Additionally, a lesser-known source of J-Hope's wealth is his extraordinary economic influence in the global fashion industry, which he now dominates as a key player. In early 2026, J-Hope was officially announced as the newest global ambassador for sports giant Nike, a collaboration expected to include a special Hope on the Street collection. This is not just an ordinary advertising contract, it is a strategic partnership where the economic value he generates is estimated to reach tens of millions of dollars through global product sales royalties. As the first person in BTS to sign an individual contract with a luxury fashion house such as Louis Vuitton, J-Hope has built a foundation where his every step is market value. A reflection of J-Hope's wealth is how he has transformed his positive energy into strict financial discipline. He does not rely solely on income from tours or album sales, but has built passive income through rental properties in the elite Seubingo-dong area and shares in Hybe, whose value is predicted to continue to strengthen ahead of BTS's comeback in March 2026. Behind every energetic dance move lies a well-thought-out strategy ensuring he remains at the top of the economic pyramid for decades to come. J-Hope is proof that being a hope for others also means having a very bright vision for one's own financial future. However, after seeing J-Hope's dominance in real estate and fashion, are you ready to find out which member has quietly taken over the stock market with the most stable value and owns assets directly linked to the face of Seoul itself? Who is the trendsetter whose assets aren't just buildings, but also influence that permanently reshapes South Korea's tourism landscape? Number 3. Jimin. The Midas touch of Hanum and the crown prince of the stock market. Many of you may think that Park Jimin is just the soft shield of BTS, with his captivating falsetto voice. But behind his elegance on stage, Jimin is a financial giant whose money movements can make stockbrokers in Uido hold their breath. By 2026, Jimin's name is no longer just etched on Billboard trophies, but officially listed among South Korea's elite top 100 stock-rich individuals under 30. This is no ordinary achievement. Jimin stands shoulder to shoulder with third-generation chaebol heirs, proving that sweat from Busan can turn into a pile of stocks worth more than one could imagine. According to the latest data released by CEO Score in early 2026, the value of Jimin's stock holdings in Hybe Corporation has skyrocketed to 21.4 billion won, equivalent to over 256 billion rupiah. Imagine, Jimin holds 68,385 shares that he has kept tightly since they were given to him by Bang Si-hyuk in 2020. While many investors panicked over market fluctuations, Jimin demonstrated true diamond hands mentality. He did not sell a single share, allowing his assets to grow exponentially in anticipation of BTS's grand comeback in March 2026, which brought the company's valuation back to its peak. However, stocks are only the tip of the iceberg of his wealth. The hidden source of wealth that makes Jimin a legend in the investment world is his one-home concentration strategy in the world's most cutthroat real estate market, Seoul. You should know that Jimin is the owner of one of the most prestigious units in 91 Hanum, a residential complex dubbed the Beverly Hills of Seoul. He bought it in cash for 5.9 billion won without a single penny of bank loans several years ago. In 2026, when apartment prices in Seoul reached their highest level in 19 years, the value of Jimin's property is estimated to have nearly doubled, making it a very strong liquid asset. Why did Jimin choose 91 Hanum? Because it's not just about luxury, but about exclusivity and privacy that money can't buy. Additionally, Jimin possesses a keen business instinct in the world of luxury fashion. His role as global ambassador for Dior and Tiffany & Co. is more than just a modeling contract. Jimin is an economic value creator. Every time he wears Tiffany jewelry or a Dior suit, the earned media value, EMV, he generates can reach tens of millions of dollars in a matter of hours. Economists call this the Jimin effect, where a product can sell out globally just because of one photo, creating a passive income stream through huge sales performance bonuses. Even more remarkable is how Jimin manages his reputational wealth. He is known as the donation fairy, who regularly injects billions of won into various educational and health foundations, including scholarships for art students in Busan. Technically, this may look like an expense, but in the world of branding, it is a long-term investment that keeps Jimin's personal brand value stable at #1 for years, which automatically attracts the interest of investors and luxury brands to continue working with him. In 2026, Jimin is also reported to have begun eyeing investments in the green technology and education startup sectors, leveraging his vision for the future to create both social impact and financial gain. Jimin's wealth reflects patience and precision. He does not rush to spend his money on an excessive lifestyle, but rather invests it in blue-chip assets that will secure his future for decades to come. He is the embodiment of true quiet luxury, someone who has everything yet remains grounded, while quietly dominating the top of the Korean stock market. Have you ever imagined that behind each of his emotional contemporary dances, Jimin is thinking about portfolio diversification strategies that even economic experts admire? And if Jimin is already this powerful in the stock and property markets, who is the next member whose wealth comes from a virtual world and a collection of the rarest items on Earth, priced beyond a private jet? Who is the visionary who turned a hobby into an unstoppable money-making machine in this digital age? Number 2. V, the global sovereign of visual luxury and the silent emperor of high-end assets. If you think Kim Taehyung, or V, is only about his soul-stirring baritone and his most handsome face in the world titles, then you are missing the most calculated and brilliant financial transformation in the history of modern pop culture. By the year 2026, V has moved beyond being a mere superstar. He has become a sovereign entity in the world of global high-end finance, a man whose very aesthetic choices can cause shifts in the stock prices of LVMH and Richemont. While others might invest in traditional stocks, V has mastered the art of visual economics, a unique wealth-building strategy where his personal brand acts as a gold standard for luxury assets. The most profound and rarely discussed source of his wealth lies in the sheer, staggering scale of his earned media value, EMV, and the private contracts that come with it. In 2025 and 2026, V's partnership with Celine and Cartier reached a level of financial symbiosis never seen before. Industry reports suggest that a single appearance by V at a fashion event generates upwards of $274 million in media value within 48 hours. But here's the secret. His contracts are no longer just about flat fees. Reliable insiders in the 2026 luxury retail sector whisper that V has negotiated performance-based equity and sales-linked royalties that give him a direct percentage of the revenue growth in the buys regions he influences, particularly in the booming markets of Southeast Asia and Japan. This means that every time a Panthère de Cartier watch or a Celine Triomphe bag is sold to a customer inspired by his image, V's personal wealth grows silently in the background, creating a stream of passive income that rivals the GDP of small nations. Beyond the fashion world, V has proven to be a ruthless and visionary player in the South Korean super-prime real estate market. In a move that shocked the financial world, he purchased an ultra-exclusive villa in SK Applebaum, located in the affluent Samseong-dong district, for approximately 5.1 billion won, entirely in cash, with zero debt. In 2026, as the Gangnam and Samseong-dong areas undergo massive urban redevelopment for the Global Business Center, GBC, the value of this property has surged by an estimated 45%, making it one of the most profitable real estate flips in his portfolio. But V's wealth isn't just about land and leather, it's about his deep emotional investment in the alternative asset market. Following in the footsteps of RM, but with a focus on classic modernity, V has been quietly accumulating a world-class collection of vintage luxury timepieces and rare classic cameras. His collection of Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin watches are not just accessories, they are investments on the wrist that have appreciated by over 200% since he acquired them. Moreover, V's influence on the niche art market is a hidden goldmine. When V features an obscure artist or a specific brand of jazz vinyl on his social media, the market cap of those entities explodes. It is rumored that V has established a private family office in 2026 to manage these diverse investments, ensuring that his wealth is protected through complex trusts and international diversified funds. This is the reflection of a man who grew up in a farming family and understands the intrinsic value of ownership. He isn't just spending his money, he is building a fortress of cultural and financial capital. Every designer suit he wears is a brick in that fortress, and every silent real estate acquisition is a shield against the volatility of the entertainment industry. The emotional weight of his success is found in how he uses this wealth to uplift his family's legacy, quietly purchasing commercial buildings in his hometown of Daegu to provide long-term stability for his kin. As we look at V in 2026, we see a man who has successfully commodified his vibe into a multi-generational empire. He is the personification of quiet money, the kind that doesn't need to shout to be felt. He has become a king who doesn't just sit on a throne, but owns the very ground the throne stands on. But as we stand on the precipice of the final revelation, one question remains. Who could possibly surpass this level of strategic luxury? Who is the member that has taken the golden opportunity of his youth to build a digital and commercial juggernaut that is currently redefining the entire concept of a global megabrand? Are you ready to meet the one who sits at the very top of the BTS wealth pyramid, whose moves are so massive they are changing the face of global trade? Number 1. Jungkook. The golden empire of global trade and the titan of the Itaewon dynasty. You may know him as the golden maknae who can do anything, from dancing and singing to breaking world records overnight. But in 2026, Jungkook has evolved into an economic entity whose power rivals that of multinational corporations. We are no longer talking about a talented young man from Busan. We are talking about a young tycoon who has built a golden financial empire whose foundations will not waver for decades to come. Jungkook's most striking but rarely discussed source of wealth is his aggressive investment in high-stakes real estate. Imagine this. In 2021, at a very young age, he purchased a luxury home in the elite diplomatic district of Itaewon worth 7.6 billion won. But it was his next move that truly demonstrated his cold business instincts. He demolished the old building and rebuilt a modern 5-story palace, 3 floors above ground and 2 floors below ground, with a total floor area of 1,161 square meters. By 2026, the valuation of this Jungkook Castle property is estimated to have exceeded 20 billion won, or more than 230 billion rupiah, making it one of the most valuable residential assets in all of South Korea, owned by an individual under the age of 30. However, that was only the beginning of his unstoppable cash flow. Jungkook's most mysterious yet massive wealth comes from his influence that transcends logic in the global retail industry through performance-based equity contracts with giant brands such as Calvin Klein. Did you know that when Jungkook became their global face, the brand's website immediately crashed and PVH Corp, Calvin Klein's parent company, shares skyrocketed significantly? Behind the scenes, Jungkook's 2026 contract is reportedly no longer just a one-way advertising contract, but a strategic partnership where he receives royalties from every increase in global sales volume in the product category he represents. It's an automatic money machine. Every time someone in London, New York, or Jakarta buys the collection he wears, Jungkook's coffers grow without him having to be there. Let's talk about even crazier numbers. Music royalties. With the success of his solo album Golden, which broke streaming records with billions of streams on Spotify, Jungkook's passive income from royalties for songs like 7, 3D, and Standing Next to You is predicted to reach millions of dollars per year from digital platforms alone, not including licenses for global commercial advertisements. On the stock market, Jungkook holds 68,385 shares of HYBE, which reached a new all-time high in early 2026 following the announcement of BTS's world tour, giving him a net worth in shares alone of over 25 billion won. However, what makes Jungkook's wealth narrative so emotional and reflective is how he transformed the nickname sold-out king into a formal business strategy. He doesn't just accidentally spend money on fabric softener or chocolate milk, he now has a personal asset management team that directs investments into future tech startup sectors related to his hobbies and passions, ranging from music production technology to digital lifestyle platforms. The reflection of Jungkook's wealth is about the courage of a young man who came to Seoul empty-handed, then worked hard until he not only had the world in his hands, but also had the instruments to control it financially. He is a symbol of the Generation Wealth, a new generation of billionaires who build wealth from pure talent managed with sharp market intelligence. He doesn't just accumulate money, he builds a legacy that ensures the name John Jungkook is the highest economic value guarantee on the planet. Behind every shy smile in front of the camera is a market master who knows exactly how much every second of his presence is worth. This is the pinnacle of the golden empire he has built, a blend of relentless hard work, predatory instincts in the property market, and unmatched personal branding value that no one in the global entertainment industry can rival today. Jungkook has proven that being the youngest doesn't mean being last, but rather being the most hungry for eternal success.